You risked everything.
For us.
I will never forget this.
It was my honor, Your Highness.
Somewhere out in deep space, one soldier did something that should have gotten him killed. He jumped in front of a plasma blast meant for a princess. Nobody thought he would survive. Nobody thought she would even remember his name. But what happened next is something almost nobody in the galaxy expected. He woke up years later. His body was different. His world was different. And standing beside his bed was the same princess he saved, except now, she wasn't just grateful. She had a secret plan. A plan that would change his life forever. Here's what you're about to find out. First, why this princess chose him, a simple human soldier, over every powerful warrior in her empire. Second, what she secretly did while he was unconscious for years, something that shocked her entire royal court. And third, the real reason she made him ruler of an empire that wasn't even his own. This is not just a rescue story. This is a story about loyalty, secrets, and power. It's the kind of story where one small act of bravery changes the fate of billions of people across the stars. If you love HFY stories, where humans prove they are stronger than anyone expects, you are going to love this one. But the truth behind this will shock you. Let me show you exactly how this happened. Long before he became a ruler, he was just a soldier. His name was Ethan. He was human, and humans were not seen as special in this part of the galaxy. Many alien races thought humans were weak. They thought humans were slow, soft, and easy to defeat in battle. Ethan did not care what other species thought about him. He had one job: protect the people he was assigned to guard. That was it. Simple and clear. He worked for a peacekeeping unit. This unit protected important leaders during dangerous times. Wars were happening between star systems. Many royal families were in danger. Assassins were everywhere. Spies hid in every corner of every palace. One day, Ethan was assigned to a new post. He did not know much about it at first. His commander only told him one thing. "You will protect the princess," the commander said. "She is important. Do not fail." Ethan nodded. He did not ask questions. He never did. He just followed orders and did his job well. The princess he was assigned to protect was named Elira. She belonged to a powerful alien species. Her skin had a soft glow. Her eyes were a deep blue, like the ocean at night. She was young, smart, and kind. But she was also very important. Her family ruled over one of the biggest empires in the galaxy. Many people wanted her dead. Some wanted to steal her throne. Others wanted to stop her family from having power. She was surrounded by danger every single day. When Ethan first met her, she looked at him with confusion. "They sent a human to protect me?" she asked. "Yes," Ethan said simply. "Is that a problem?" Elira studied him for a moment. Most guards from other species looked strong and proud. Ethan looked calm, quiet, almost too calm for someone in such a dangerous job. "No," she finally said. "It's not a problem. I just didn't expect it." From that day, Ethan stayed close to her. He walked behind her during meetings. He stood outside her room at night. He checked every hallway before she entered a room. He never rested. He never complained. At first, Elira thought he was just doing his job. But over time, she noticed something different about him. He was not just protecting her, because it was his duty. He truly cared about her safety. One night, there was an attack on the palace. Enemy soldiers broke through the outer walls. Alarms rang through every hallway. Guards ran in every direction. Ethan grabbed Elira's arm and pulled her toward a safe room. He did not panic. He did not waste time. He moved fast and smart, like he had trained for this exact moment his whole life. They made it to safety just in time. The attack was stopped within hours. But that night changed everything between them. Elira realized something important. This human soldier was not weak. He was not soft. He was calm under pressure, sharp in his thinking, and completely loyal. From that day forward, she started to trust him more than anyone else in the palace. But trust was only the beginning. What happened next would test everything Ethan believed about duty, sacrifice, and loyalty. Because soon, a bigger danger was coming. A danger that would change both of their lives forever. Months passed. Ethan and Elira grew closer, though neither of them said much about it out loud. She would talk to him during quiet moments. He would listen carefully, always watching the room for danger, but always paying attention to her words too. Elira started to open up about her life. She told him how lonely it felt to be a princess. Everyone around her wanted something. Advisors wanted power. Other royals wanted alliances through marriage. Even her own family sometimes treated her like a piece on a chessboard, not a person. Ethan never asked her for anything. He never tried to use his position near her for personal gain. He simply protected her, listened to her, and respected her. One evening, Elira asked him a question that surprised him. "Do you ever get scared, Ethan?" He thought about it for a moment. "Yes," he said honestly. "But fear does not stop me from doing my job." Elira smiled a small, quiet smile. "That's the difference between you and everyone else here. You don't pretend to be fearless. You just do what's right anyway." Their bond grew stronger, but so did the danger around them. Word spread through the empire that a rebel group wanted to overthrow Elira's family. They believed the royal bloodline was weak and corrupt. They wanted to start a war to take control of the empire. The rebels planned a public attack. They wanted to kill Elira during an important ceremony, where she would appear in front of thousands of people from different planets. It would send a powerful message. It would show the galaxy that even royalty could be destroyed. Security was increased. More guards were added. But something felt wrong. Ethan could not explain it, but his instincts told him this ceremony would not be safe. He warned his commanders. He warned the royal advisors. But they told him not to worry. They said the security plan was perfect. They said nothing could go wrong. Ethan did not fully believe them. He decided to stay closer to Elira than ever before, even if it meant breaking a few normal guard procedures. The day of the ceremony arrived. Thousands of people gathered in a massive open square. Flags from different planets waved in the wind. Music played. Everyone smiled and cheered as Elira walked out to greet her people. Ethan stood just a few steps behind her, watching every movement in the crowd. His eyes moved from face to face, searching for anything unusual. Then he saw it. A strange shimmer of movement near the top of a nearby building. A weapon, aimed directly at Elira. There was no time to shout a warning. No time to think about the consequences. There was only one choice. Ethan moved without hesitation. Ethan's body reacted before his mind could even fully process what was happening. He saw the barrel of the weapon flash with light. A plasma blast shot through the air, faster than anyone could react. He pushed Elira aside with all his strength and threw himself directly into the path of the blast. The plasma hit him with tremendous force. Pain exploded through his entire body. The crowd screamed. Guards rushed forward. Chaos erupted across the square. Elira fell to the ground beside him, shocked and terrified. She looked at Ethan, lying there, badly wounded, smoke rising from his damaged armor. "No, no, no," she whispered, kneeling beside him. "Stay with me, please." His eyes were barely open. He looked at her one last time before everything went dark. Doctors rushed him to the Palace Medical Center immediately. His injuries were severe. Some doctors even said he might not survive the night. Elira refused to leave his side. She sat beside his bed for hours, then days. She ignored her royal duties. She ignored the pressure from advisors who told her she needed to focus on running the empire, not sitting beside an injured soldier. "He saved my life," she told them firmly. "I will not abandon him." The doctors used advanced alien medical technology to try to save him. They placed him into a special healing chamber. This chamber could repair severe injuries, but it required a very long time, sometimes years, depending on the damage. Ethan's body was placed into a deep healing sleep. His mind stayed unconscious while machines slowly repaired his organs, his skin, and even parts of his damaged nervous system. Nobody knew exactly how long it would take for him to wake up. While Ethan slept, the galaxy did not stop moving. Elira's father, the Emperor, grew seriously ill. His health declined quickly. The Empire needed a new leader, and many advisors expected Elira to take the throne immediately. But something else was happening behind closed doors, something almost nobody knew about. Elira began making secret decisions. She met privately with trusted advisors, judges, and military leaders. She reviewed ancient laws about succession and leadership. She studied old records about how outsiders, even royal individuals, could be given power in special circumstances. She was planning something big, something that would shock her entire court. She was not planning to rule alone. She wanted Ethan by her side, not just as a guard, and not just as a friend. She wanted him to be much more than that. But convincing an empire built on strict royal bloodlines to accept a human soldier as a ruler would not be easy. Many advisors would resist. Many nobles would be angry. Some might even see it as a threat to their power. But Elira was determined. She believed Ethan deserved this, not just because he saved her life, but because of who he truly was. Years passed. Ethan remained in the healing chamber the entire time. His body slowly repaired itself, piece by piece. Meanwhile, Elira worked quietly and carefully to build support for her secret plan. She spoke with elder advisors who respected honor and sacrifice above bloodline traditions. She reminded them of ancient stories where outsiders were given great power because of their bravery and loyalty. Slowly, some advisors began to agree with her. Others were harder to convince. Some nobles laughed at the idea. "A human ruling beside you. It's unheard of," one advisor said. Elira stayed calm. "He gave his life to save mine. What has bloodline ever proven compared to that kind of loyalty?" Her words carried weight. People respected her strength as a leader. Even her father, weak from illness, listened closely when she spoke about her plan. "You truly believe in him," her father said one day, his voice tired but curious. "I do," Elira answered. "More than I've ever believed in anyone." Her father studied her for a long moment. Finally, he nodded. "Then prepare the proper documents. If he wakes up, and if he accepts, I will not stand in your way." This was a major turning point. With her father's approval, Elira moved forward with legal preparations. She worked with the empire's top scholars to create a special law. This law would allow a proven hero, regardless of species or background, to be granted royal status through an ancient act called the Blood Debt Right. It was an old and rarely used law that said if someone saved the life of a ruling family member through extreme sacrifice, they could be honored with royal power. It took years to finalize everything. Meetings, debates, objections, approvals. Elira fought through every obstacle with patience and determination. Finally, after years of waiting, something began to change inside the healing chamber. Machines started beeping differently. Lights flickered. The medical team rushed into the room. Ethan's body was finally complete. His wounds were fully healed. His organs were functioning normally. It was time. Slowly, his eyes opened for the first time in years. Everything felt strange to him. The room looked different. The lights felt brighter. His body felt stronger, almost unfamiliar. Then he saw her. Elira stood beside his bed, older now, more mature, but her eyes were exactly the same as he remembered. Warm, kind, determined. "Ethan," she said softly, her voice trembling with emotion, "you're finally awake." He tried to speak, but his throat felt dry. She gently helped him drink water before he tried again. "How long?" "As I asleep," he finally asked. "Years," she said. "A lot has changed." He looked around the room, confused. "What happened to me? And why do you look different?" Elira took a deep breath. She knew this moment had been building for years. Now it was finally time to tell him the truth. Elira sat beside his bed and began to explain everything. She told him about the healing chamber, about how long he had been asleep, and about her father's declining health. Then she told him the biggest secret of all. "While you were healing," she said, "I created a law. A special law that allows me to give royal power to someone outside the royal bloodline, if they saved my life through great sacrifice." Ethan stared at her, stunned. "Elira, what are you saying?" She took his hand gently. "I'm saying that if you accept, you will become ruler of this empire beside me. Not as my guard, not as my friend, as my equal." For a moment, Ethan said nothing. His mind raced with thoughts he never expected to have. He was just a soldier, a simple human who followed orders and protected people. He never imagined ruling an empire, especially not one filled with different species, ancient traditions, and massive political power. "Why me?" he finally asked. "There must be someone more prepared for this. Someone from a powerful family. Someone trained to rule." Elira shook her head. "Power is not just about training or bloodline. It's about character. You threw yourself in front of a weapon to save my life without even thinking twice. You never asked for anything in return. You never used your position for personal gain. That is exactly the kind of person this empire needs leading it. Ethan looked down at his hands, still processing everything. This is a lot to take inches. I know, Elira said gently. You don't have to decide right now. But I want you to know something important. I'm not asking you because I feel guilty about what happened to you. I'm asking because I truly believe you deserve this. And because, over these years, my feelings for you grew far beyond gratitude. Ethan looked up at her, surprised by her honesty. Elira continued, her voice steady despite her nervousness. I don't want a ruler chosen by bloodline alone. I want a ruler who cares about people, who protects the weak, who leads with honor, not fear. That person is you, Ethan. Days passed as Ethan slowly recovered his physical strength. During that time, he watched Elira closely. He saw how she treated her advisors with respect. He saw how she listened to ordinary citizens' concerns. He saw the empire she was trying to build, one based on fairness, not fear. Finally, one evening, standing beside her on a balcony, overlooking the vast city lights of the empire's capital, Ethan made his decision. I accept, he said quietly. Not for power, not for status, but because I believe in what you're trying to build, and because I believe in you. Elira smiled, tears forming in her eyes. Then let's build it together. In the following weeks, a grand ceremony was held. It was unlike anything the empire had ever seen. A human soldier, once seen as an outsider, stood beside the princess as she officially named him co-ruler of one of the most powerful empires in the galaxy. Many were shocked. Some were angry. But over time, as Ethan proved himself through fair decisions, strong leadership, and genuine care for the people, even his harshest critics began to respect him. The story of the soldier who took a plasma blast for a princess spread across the galaxy. It became a legend, told to children on many different planets. A story about sacrifice, loyalty, and the belief that true leadership comes not from bloodline, but from character. Here's the twist almost nobody expected. Elira's secret plan wasn't just about honoring Ethan's bravery. It was about proving something bigger to her entire empire, that leadership built on fear and bloodline was outdated, and that real strength came from loyalty, sacrifice, and genuine care for others. By choosing Ethan, she challenged centuries of tradition. She showed her people that anyone, regardless of species or background, could rise to greatness through honor and courage. This story reminds us that the biggest rewards in life often come from selfless actions, not personal ambition. Ethan never sought power. He simply did what was right, without expecting anything in return. And in the end, that quality became the very reason he was chosen to rule. If this opened your eyes to the deeper meaning behind sacrifice and leadership, wait until you see what happens next in this empire story, because their biggest challenge is only just beginning. Let's recap what made this story so powerful. Ethan's selfless sacrifice proved that true strength isn't about status or bloodline. Elira's secret plan showed that real leadership requires courage to challenge outdated traditions. And together, they proved that loyalty and honor can reshape an entire empire. If you enjoyed this HFY Sci-Fi story, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next incredible tale of humans proving their true strength across the galaxy. Give this video a like if Ethan's sacrifice moved you, and drop a comment letting me Know what you think should happen next in this empire. For more epic HFY stories, alien empires, and unforgettable Sci-Fi journeys, check out our next video linked right here on screen. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Ethan deserved this power? Or do you think loyalty alone isn't enough to rule an empire? Let me know in the comments below.